Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The news hitting the NFL streets today has set off an electric buzz that no fan could ignore, and it's all about one name that has been on the lips of analysts, insiders, and hardcore supporters alike. ASANTE Samuel Jr., the cornerback, known for his sharp instincts, blistering speed, and uncanny ability to read quarterbacks before they even commit to a throw, has officially signed with the Miami Dolphins. And the implications for the team are staggering. Sources close to the organization suggest that the discussions had been quietly ongoing for weeks, with top executives and coaching staff dissecting film late into the night, analyzing his past performances and imagining how he could fit into their defensive schemes. The deal itself, while reportedly lucrative, is being framed as more than just a financial transaction. It's a strategic acquisition that could redefine Miami's defensive identity. Fans and pundits alike are already speculating about how Samuel Jr.'s presence will shift the balance of power in the AFC East, possibly giving the Dolphins the edge they've been chasing in terms of turnovers, pass deflections, and lockdown coverage against some of the league's most dangerous wideouts. The city is buzzing with anticipation, and social media platforms are flooded with clips highlighting his career highlights, commentary from former teammates, and debates about how he will mesh with the existing roster, creating a storm of conversation that's hard to ignore. Everyone is asking the same question: can ASANTE Samuel Jr. take this Dolphins defense from good to elite? And is this the missing piece they've been searching for? The excitement surrounding his arrival is palpable, and there is a sense that the Dolphins might not just be adding a player. They could be sending a message to the rest of the league that they are ready to compete at the highest level. The locker room dynamics, coaching strategies, and even draft priorities are all reportedly being reevaluated in light of this acquisition, signaling a potential shift in the team's philosophy and an aggressive approach to the upcoming season, as insiders hint that Samuel Jr.'s signing might trigger further moves to strengthen Miami's defensive depth and overall competitiveness. In the backdrop of this major signing, rival teams are already adjusting their scouting reports, evaluating how their offensive schemes might need to adapt when facing a secondary anchored by a talent like Samuel Jr. Coaches and offensive coordinators are reportedly reviewing tape obsessively, looking for potential weaknesses and planning contingencies to mitigate the impact of his coverage skills. Analysts have pointed out that his instincts, combined with his disciplined technique, make him not only a shutdown corner, but also a valuable asset in zone schemes, blitz packages, and hybrid defensive looks. There's speculation that the Dolphins coaching staff has been experimenting with more aggressive defensive formations during off-season practices, anticipating how Samuel Jr.'s versatility can create mismatches and confusion for opposing quarterbacks. Meanwhile, fans have taken to forums, Twitter threads, and Reddit discussions, passionately debating how his arrival could affect key matchups, playoff prospects, and the team's long-term defensive identity. Some speculate that his presence will free up other defensive backs to play more aggressively, knowing that Samuel Jr. can handle coverage responsibilities against the league's top receivers, thereby increasing pressure on quarterbacks and improving the overall efficiency of the pass defense. Sports media outlets are already running features on his career trajectory, drawing parallels between his current skill set and legendary cornerbacks who changed the fate of their franchises. Rumors abound regarding potential leadership roles within the locker room, with some insiders suggesting that Samuel Jr.'s professional demeanor and football IQ could position him as a mentor for younger players, further enhancing the team's defensive cohesion. Even beyond X's and O's, there is a growing conversation around the psychological edge he brings, with his reputation for anticipation, quick reactions, and competitive drive possibly altering how opposing offenses approach games against Miami. The Dolphins front office, reportedly energized by the signing, seems to be embracing the narrative that Samuel Jr. is not just a player addition, but a symbol of the team's commitment to becoming a formidable defensive force. A story that is captivating both local fans and national audiences alike, leaving everyone wondering what the next chapter in Miami's NFL journey will look like. With this new cornerstone in place, talk around the league also suggests that this move could trigger a ripple effect, influencing trade discussions, free agency decisions, and even coaching philosophies across the NFL. Teams facing the Dolphins in the upcoming season may need to reconsider their offensive line schemes, quarterback reads, and route combinations. Knowing that Samuel Jr.'s anticipation and coverage skills can disrupt timing and create turnovers, observers note that the Dolphins' defensive backfield now has a heightened level of credibility, potentially forcing opponents into more conservative passing strategies to avoid costly mistakes. There's even chatter that his signing could encourage Miami to target complementary players in upcoming drafts, focusing on athletes who can maximize the impact of a cornerback of his caliber. Pundits speculate that Samuel Jr.'s influence might extend beyond measurable stats, affecting the morale and confidence of the defense as a whole, fostering a culture of accountability and aggression that could become a hallmark of Miami's defensive identity. Fans are already theorizing about potential highlight reels and clutch plays in key matchups, imagining Samuel Jr. breaking up passes, intercepting throws, and making game-changing tackles that could define the Dolphins' season. Some social media commentary has even framed his signing as a turning point in the team's history, suggesting that the addition of a player with his instincts, experience, and skill set could shift Miami from perennial underdogs to legitimate contenders in the AFC. The excitement is contagious, with fan communities hosting watch parties, prediction contests, and discussions about how his arrival might impact long-term strategies, including draft picks and contract negotiations. Analysts hint that while immediate impact is expected, Samuel Jr.'s true value could manifest over multiple seasons, shaping not just a defensive approach for one campaign but laying a foundation for sustainable success and a culture of defensive dominance. The buzz is undeniable, and insiders are already noting that rival teams will be watching closely to see if Samuel Jr. lives up to the high expectations that accompany his signing. A storyline that promises intrigue, tension, and excitement for weeks to come. Speculation also surrounds the financial and contractual details, which, while officially undisclosed, are rumored to be substantial enough to signal Miami's commitment to making a statement in the league. Sources hint that the structure of the deal includes performance incentives, clauses tied to turnovers and interceptions, and potential leadership bonuses, all suggesting that the Dolphins see Samuel Jr. as a cornerstone for the present and future. This has sparked debates about cap management, roster flexibility, and the broader strategy the organization is employing to balance star acquisitions with depth across all defensive positions. There are murmurs that the front office views this signing as a statement to the rest of the league. Miami is willing to invest in elite talent to compete at the highest level, a move that could inspire confidence among fans and intimidate competitors. Pundits and insiders are drawing comparisons to other high-profile defensive acquisitions, noting that the team's approach may mark a turning point in its evolution from a team with sporadic defensive success to one that consistently pressures offenses, generates turnovers, and controls the pace of games. Fans have quickly latched onto these discussions, creating an almost feverish atmosphere online, sharing highlight clips, historical comparisons, and projections for how Samuel Jr. could redefine the defensive identity of the Dolphins. The narrative is building that Miami's secondary is no longer just a component of the defense, it could become the defining feature. With Samuel Jr. at its center, analysts suggest that his presence might allow the coaching staff to implement more aggressive schemes, confident that the cornerback's instincts and coverage ability will limit big plays and force opponents into mistakes. This has fueled widespread speculation about how rival quarterbacks might now approach games against Miami, with some already predicting altered game plans designed specifically to minimize Samuel Jr.'s impact, a conversation that underscores his perceived importance and influence in the league. The locker room perspective is equally fascinating, with sources hinting that Samuel Jr. has been welcomed with enthusiasm and curiosity, as teammates and coaches gauge how his personality, leadership, and competitive nature will mesh with the existing culture. Observers suggest that his professionalism, preparation, and focus on fundamentals could set a new standard, encouraging younger players to elevate their game while also providing veterans with a reliable presence in critical situations. Analysts are noting that this could transform not only the on-field dynamics but also the team's internal culture, as attitudes toward preparation, accountability, and execution are influenced by a player whose reputation precedes him. Fans speculate on chemistry, potential mentorship, and the ways Samuel Jr. could elevate the collective performance of the secondary, from encouraging communication and coverage to demonstrating situational awareness that enhances the entire defensive framework. Rumors swirl that coaching staff discussions have been intense, dissecting every possible scenario in which Samuel Jr. could be utilized, from man-to-man matchups to zone blitz packages, and considering creative strategies that maximize his skill set. While challenging opposing offenses, this speculation extends beyond immediate tactical advantages, hinting that his presence could inspire an entire organizational philosophy shift toward defensive dominance, creating a culture where attention to detail, anticipation, and opportunism define the Dolphins' identity. The excitement has sparked a media frenzy, with highlight reels, expert debates, and player comparisons dominating headlines, reinforcing the notion that Samuel Jr.'s arrival is more than just another signing. It is a signal that Miami is preparing to make a serious push for supremacy within the AFC East and beyond. An announcement that has captured the imagination of fans, pundits, and rival teams alike. Still with us? Then show some love, hit that like button and let us know in the comments, what's your take on the Fins this week? There is also growing chatter about how Samuel Jr.'s signing might influence the broader NFL landscape, particularly in terms of defensive strategies, player valuations, and the perception of cornerbacks as pivotal pieces in championship-contending teams. Observers suggest that his presence could trigger a wave of similar acquisitions, as teams aim to match or counter the advantage that Miami now possesses in the secondary. Analysts point out that the ripple effect could extend to draft strategy, with franchises prioritizing defensive backs with similar traits, potentially reshaping positional value and influencing trade discussions league-wide. Fans have latched onto this narrative, speculating about domino effects that might impact not only the Dolphins, but rival teams who now face a secondary anchored by one of the league's most promising talents. Social media debates swirl around his potential matchups, expected impact in primetime games, and hypothetical scenarios where Samuel Jr. disrupts high-profile offenses, creating storylines rich with tension, drama, and anticipation. Even casual observers are tuning in, captivated by the idea that a single signing can have multi-layered implications across the sport, affecting everything from gameplay to management decisions, and sparking endless analysis from analysts, fans, and insiders alike. The overarching sentiment is clear. ASANTE Samuel Jr.'s arrival is more than just a personnel move. It is a catalyst for conversation, speculation, and excitement that transcends the Miami Dolphins, resonating throughout the NFL and setting the stage for a season where defensive prowess may become the ultimate game changer. And every opponent will have to strategize carefully to navigate a team that is now defined by the presence of a true lockdown cornerback in Samuel Jr. And finally, whispers suggest that Samuel Jr. himself is fully aware of the expectations and is reportedly motivated by the challenge, eager to prove himself in a new environment and leave a lasting legacy with the Dolphins. Sources hint that he has already been engaging in intensive off-season training, studying playbooks, and developing rapport with teammates, signaling a level of commitment that could translate into immediate impact once the season kicks off. Analysts and insiders are debating how his mindset, preparation, and adaptability will influence both his individual performance and the overall defensive chemistry, with speculation pointing to the possibility of Miami's defense evolving into a feared unit, capable of turning games with decisive plays and strategic dominance. Fans are eagerly anticipating preseason matchups, imagining scenarios where Samuel Jr.'s instincts and anticipation result in game-changing turnovers, while pundits consider how his presence might allow for riskier defensive calls, knowing that his coverage reliability can support aggressive schemes. The narrative continues to build momentum, suggesting that Samuel Jr.'s signing is as much about psychological influence, confidence building, and culture setting as it is about tangible on-field results in forums, podcasts, and social media discussions. Fans are theorizing about potential milestones, highlight reels, and legacy-defining plays, creating an atmosphere where expectation, excitement, and speculation converge. The rumor mill continues to churn, with insiders teasing future moves, complementary acquisitions, and strategic shifts, all hinting that the Dolphins are positioning themselves for a transformative season. In essence, Samuel Jr.'s arrival is shaping up to be a defining moment for Miami, a potential turning point where defensive identity, league perception, and championship ambitions intersect, leaving everyone watching closely, eager to see if the buzz, speculation, and anticipation can translate into real, game-changing performance on the field. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!